Hi guys. So, another question I've gotten a few times is if you really have to niche down, and some people say niche, some people say niche. I just call it your specialty because I don't like to be wrong. So, do you need to specialize, even though I'm going to use the other word in the title, because why not? And it ranks better in keyword Google searches. But, do you need to specialize as a writer? Now, there's a few different ways you can go about this. Number one, sometimes clients are looking for a specialist in a certain industry, right? If they're writing about things like one topic I wrote about that I should not have had any business writing about was VA home loans, Veterans Associations home, 7-8 years ago. I had no business writing about any of that, right? And but they weren't looking for a pro, it was just someone who could just write well and put it together. But I had no business writing about that because some industries are so complicated that you need someone who at least knows them to write about them, which is why clients will hunt for people who have a specialty. And on the flip side, you can write about things faster that you know about. I can write about fitness all day, every day. It could take me under an hour to write some solid copy for anything in the fitness industry, period. It saves me time from researching, which is great because sometimes a client is not going to pay you to research that. If you're charging $100 an hour and it takes you 10 hours, no one's going to pay you $1,000 to research an industry. Period. So that has to come out of your pocket and your time that you could be making money working with clients that you know, and you can get projects done faster. And also the last point is that you can charge more if you are a specialist in certain areas. Now, with all of that being said, there are some caveats to all of these points and some exceptions and things that you need to know. Number one, if you pick a specialty, you don't need to marry it. You're not... Just because if I rebranded my entire site as the fitness copywriting specialist, and then the next week I decided I don't want to do that anymore, I would just go into my site, fix it, and then move on with my life. I think some people think that once they become a specialist in an area, they have to stick with it and marry it, and most clients are not going to notice and or care that you're rebranding yourself all the time. They're like, do you help me make sales? Are you helping me keep readers on my site? Are people opening my emails? Yes? Great. Do coke off your desk for all we care. Within reason. But they're like, we don't care what you do. Do my clients care that I also have a fitness blog and I game sometime on Twitch? No. No one cares about what you're doing, okay? Now, they care if you are a specialist and you're lying. This we need to address right off the bat. If you are... Now, it's one thing to have an aspirational goal of, I want to be a specialist in this area and X, Y, and Z. Maybe it's automotive or it's, 5-star travel experiences across the world. Sure. And you can be studying that area and you need to dedicate your hour or two a day to studying this area, reading emails, understanding the industry, renting books, whatever it is, you need to be spending as much time as possible consuming information because you want to be a specialist in that area down the line. Great. And I only say this because there is some godforsaken Reddit post that is super famous apparently in the copywriting world. And I know this because I've gotten about 50 plus emails on it every month about some dude who makes 6 figures as a direct response copywriter in the financial industry. Now, people ask me, does that make a lot of money? And I'm like, the financial industry is disgusting how much just hundreds are pouring out of their ears. Yes. However, I'm like, how much financial experience do you have? Because that is not an industry you can play with. If you're confusing mutual funds and index funds haphazardly in your copy, you're going to make yourself look like an idiot. Period. You're going to make yourself, they're going to sniff you out. If you're going to call yourself a specialist and you actually don't know what you're talking about, someone's going to know in a second. If I'm talking to someone, because I've been in the fitness industry for so long, that doesn't actually have any idea, you can tell in a second. Or if you're around someone who's like talking about politics and you're like, have you ever read a book? You know it in a minute. You know it in a second. You're like, oh my, you don't actually know. So you don't want to do that because you're going to make yourself look absolutely ridiculous. And if you have a specialty as you're a financial copywriter, but you don't know what you're talking about, and some big fish client works with you and realizes you're full of shit, your reputation in that industry, because if you think they're all not friends and they don't talk, you're crazy. Because they're going to be like, oh yeah, and I'm working with this writer, and they'll be like, oh yeah, we worked with him. Like, careful. Like, that is the worst case scenario possible, because now you can ruin your own specialty and like all of your work in that industry. So but the point is, don't call yourself a specialist in a certain area if you're not. Now, you can start taking beginner, lower assignments in smaller companies and working your way up as you establish yourself in that industry, but don't come swinging out the gate with your branding of being a financial guru when you are not. Now, you can say like, just don't call yourself an expert. Like, you have an interest in the financial industry. You are, you may list it as one of 3 things that you're interested in as a writer. So people will know that like you're interested in this. This is a side topic. Like, one of my side topics is home security. I'm not a pro. I just have an interest in it. And sometimes I write about it. So when it comes across my, if a client comes into my world, I'm like, and I can tell that they're not so high level expert, then I'm like, yeah, this sounds like a fun project. Like, I'm, just selling home cameras to consumers. That's a thing I can write about, because I'm not selling home security cameras to other home security specialists, because they'll know. They'll be able to sniff it out, and I'm not that level of pro. So even though I've been doing this forever, there's still a million industries that I don't consider myself a pro in, but I'm still learning about and still growing in and still finding an interest in, because I'm not married to any single one industry in the world, which is why I said, like, you can switch. Or you work in an industry and you decide that people in that industry are a certain type of way and they're not your favorite people to work with. They're very, like, I don't really work with startups in San Fran because the energy that most San Fran startups have is too much. It's too much. And they all think that they have like invented the next, I don't know, religion. And I'm like, it's an app. But did I come out the gate swinging for a lot of startups because I knew that a lot of them had angel investors and had a shit load of money? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Startups was one of my specialties. I went hard in the industry for and was searching angel list every day and was pitching all the time. And then realized, like, after working with 10, 15 of them, that it's not my jam. It's not my favorite. Everybody take a Xanax and sign off a Slack. And please, like, take it down 37 notches, okay? Like, so now, personally, because people have asked me, what's your specialty? And I'm like, I pick based on the person I'm talking to and the industry that they're in. And I pick businesses that have been established for a while, usually because then they have the money to pay me, which is lovely. They know what they want out of their marketing. They've been around long enough to know what kind of customers they're looking to attract and work with. That gives me a lot more meat to work with. They have a lot of customers I can call an interview. They have, and people who just like, I can just tell they keep things simple to the point. They're good to work with. All of our emails just flow. Calls are quick. They're under 20 minutes. They're like, I have things to do, but I understand that we need to work together. That kind of vibe. And I feel it immediately, right? And a lot of them are in industries that do happen to cross and overlap, but I'm not going to call myself personally a specialist in those industries because I don't have an interest in doing that. I would call myself so that's just how I roll. I pick, my niche is cool people. Because if you've seen from my energy and my YouTube videos, I don't like that energy. I'm 30 now. That energy up in my life of just trying to be chaotic all the time is not going to flow. And it's just, but that's why I freelance, because I want to pick the projects I want to work. So, and also to save myself 1,000 emails of people emailing me all the time, which bless, always continue to, but I'm not a wise genie expert in everything. I wish, man, I could write thousands of ebooks and just make millions. But if you want to get in an industry and you're emailing me asking me if X, Y, and Z is a good industry, email people in that industry. You guys, I don't know everything. Like, I can only speak on some industries that I've worked in. Video games, huge, exploding. Financial industry, always. Fitness, always. Anything that helps people like lose weight. What's that old saying about any industry that helps people make money, lose weight, get laid, pay well? People will ask me like, "Hey, do you think writing about yachts is profitable, good idea?" And I'm like, I don't have any. I'd like to be on a yacht. That's as far as my knowledge goes of that industry. But and that's it. Like, people love to be asked questions about what they do. So just open up, like, someone who writes about yachts at some semi-reputable space, find them, because it takes 2 seconds on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, and be like, hey, how do you like working in this industry? Like, does it pay, do you have to have a lot of side gigs? Is there enough work out there for you to feed your family, to go on vacation? Like, what, do you enjoy it? Is there a lot of work out there? Where do you think someone should start? Interview them like they're an interesting person and you really care what they're going to say, because that's going to, 3 or 4 emails is going to tell you everything you need to know whether an industry is worth pursuing or not. That's it. You guys, it's so easy. Just get out there. If you're debating on whether you want to get into a certain industry or area as a writer, just ask people who write about that industry, or find copywriters who do, and that will tell you everything you need to know. Like, I wish I knew all the profitable industries. I'm just over here living my best life, paying my bills with my cool ass clients. I don't know everything. So that's pretty much it. Yes or no. You don't have to specialize. Don't overthink it. Get out there, talk to people who can give you work, and maybe they will. This is it, guys. This is the secret. You have to email people who can give you work and get in front of them. There is so much money to be made in writing, you guys. Just go. After you close this email, go find 5 people and email them right now. Right now. If you're watching this video, you have time, because Lord knows I ranted for too long. You could have left this video halfway and gone and done that. So go now and let me know how it works in the comments. Anything else but that will get deleted and banned from my channel. I'm just kidding. I would never. But, like, go.